This is section 7.2, and it's on the converse of the Pythagorean theorem. What if a triangle isn't a right triangle? What kind of triangle could it be? We talked about this in the last video. Well, if it's not a right triangle, you have two choices. It could be acute, or it could be obtuse. So if you answered no to any of those previous problems, is this a right triangle? No, it's not. Well, then now I'm going to ask you, what kind of triangle is it? Is it acute or is it obtuse? How do you know the difference? Well, these two theorems tell you. Theorem 7.3 tells you that if the sum of the legs squared is bigger than the hypotenuse squared, then the triangle is acute. So if your left side is bigger than your right side, the triangle is acute. Theorem 7.4 says exactly what you would think. What if the hypotenuse is bigger than the legs squared? If the right side is bigger than the left side, then the triangle is obtuse. So if we take a second and go back through and look at the problems that we've done already, this one here, this 10, 11, 14, remember we had this math, 221 and 196. 221 is bigger than 196. That means this triangle is not a right triangle, it's acute, because the left side's bigger. If you remember this one, we came up with these numbers, 680 and 676. 680 is bigger than 686, so it's not a right triangle. It's acute because the left side's bigger. You go back to this guy, this 10, 24, 28. When you square the legs and add them, you get 676. When you square the hypotenuse, you get a bigger number, 784. So if they're not the same, it's not a right triangle. But if the right side's bigger, it's obtuse. So that theorem 7.3 and 7.4 tell you how to figure out if it's acute or obtuse. What type of triangle has side lengths 4, 7, and 9? Well, notice how all three of these side lengths are different. So it definitely needs to be scaling. Now, is it acute, right, or obtuse? That's your options. Now, there's no other option for angle classifications other than right, acute, or obtuse. So this none of the above doesn't make a lot of sense. 4 squared plus 7 squared, does it equal 9 squared? If it does, then it's a right scaling triangle. If it doesn't, then it's either acute or obtuse. So 4 squared plus 7 squared, that gives you 65. 9 squared I know is 81. These are not equal. 81 is bigger than 65. That's what makes it obtuse. Let's say you have segments with lengths 4.3, 5.2, and 6.1. They form a triangle. Or can they form a triangle is what it says. If so, would the triangle be acute, right, or obtuse? So you want to check this. Actually, the first thing you want to check is it a triangle? So this is going back, and maybe you don't remember how this goes. To make a triangle, your two smallest sides together need to add together to be bigger than the biggest. 4.3 plus 5.2 is bigger than 6.1. Okay, so I'm going to write that up here. 4.3 plus 5.2 is definitely bigger than 6.1. So it is a triangle. Now, here's how you tell what kind of triangle it is. You put it in the converse of the Pythagorean theorem. 4.3 squared plus 5.2 squared. That gives me this number, 45.53. 6.1 squared gives me 37.21. The left side is clearly bigger. This is an acute triangle. We'll save this for the next video.